One of the best fighters we've ever seen is one half of my favorite fight of all time. Ruthless Robbie Lawler is set to take his rightful place in this year's UFC Hall of Fame class of 2025. We kind of knew after his retirement fight against Nico Price 2 years ago, but yeah, it's just great to see confirmation for one of the best to ever do it. Started out 4-0 in his MMA career before making his UFC debut at UFC 37 in 2002 against Aaron O'Reilly. Went on a 3-fight win streak in the UFC before going 1-3 in his following 4 fights, including one loss and a fun one in the first fight against Nick Diaz. That was a hell of a fight again for Robbie Lawler. After fighting over the globe and Strikeforce in Pride and Elite, etc., he eventually made his return to the UFC at UFC 157 in 2012 and arguably had the best second act in the UFC we've ever seen. 3-fight win streak before his first UFC title shot back in the UFC against Johnny Hendricks. Yeah, that stoppage win over Josh Koscheck, that head kick finish against Bobby Walker to follow it up, and then a fun but wasn't the best fight against Robert McDonald. Still was a hell of a fight against Rory at 167, and then despite a losing effort, still had a hell of a war against Johnny Hendricks at UFC 171, but it wouldn't be the last time those two squared up. He would rebound in a big way, a 2-fight win streak to get back to rematch against Johnny Hendricks at UFC 181, including big stoppage win over Jake Ellenberger and a fun fight against Mac Brown. And then, despite a sketchy decision to some, he did win and get his revenge against Johnny Hendricks at UFC 181. Followed that up with my favorite fight of all time, arguably the best UFC fight in history against Roy McDonald at UFC 189. At UFC 185, he had another hell of a fight against Carlos Condit. That was fun, before ultimately losing his title by knockout against Tyron Woodley at UFC 201. He did beat Don Cerrone to rebound in a fun fight, but then went on a 4-fight losing streak against, Ben Askren, Colby Covington, Rafael Dos Anjos, Neil Magny. He did finish 2-1 to end his UFC career against Nick Diaz in the rematch and against Nico Price in his retirement fight, but still one of the best to ever do it. One hell of a run. Congrats, UFC Hall of Famer Robbie Lawler.